more can I say?
Top Billin.
All right, Top Billin, y'all know what I'm looking for in these game previews. Certain aspects between both teams that I believe can be either exploited or can be honed in on from that particular team. So South Carolina did a great job against Georgia, really exposing its inability to get off of man coverage. You see right here to the boundary, isolated Lawrence Cager. They have hands on man, right? Press coverage. So even over here to the field side, you see these guys right here in man coverage, not necessarily right up on the receivers or on the targets, but they're squatting. That's what I'm saying. They're going to, at the very least, they're not bailing out or anything like that. They're squatting. They're waiting exactly to decrease the space. They're going to come to it and play it aggressively. So this ends up being man free. Got a third level send there. And then I believe my man right here rotates to be the single high post safety. Everybody else is in man coverage. But you can see the lack of get off from the guys right here. So you see the late rotation right there. Remember this, we have a 4-man front going on. I believe you're going to have a second level send, perhaps. Not necessarily, look, just the same third level send. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a 5-man send. Look at that, Cager's stuck in the mud. He can't get off of anybody. You see Demetrius Robertson right here. I'm not sure exactly which route this was. Probably was some type of jerk route or something like that. But really nobody's able to be open. If you look right here where Jake Fromm is looking with the dam is collapsing at this particular point in time, right? Got Isaiah Wilson in club bouncer mode right here. Actually, let's go back and look at the rush. See what the lineman is doing, because the line kind of struggled to me in certain aspects in this particular game right here. So we got Cade Mays working, Trey Hill working, Solomon Kinley, Andrew Thomas doing work over there. Actually, it's Justin Schaefer in the game. So this is when Solomon Kinley, this is why the dam probably broke, to be honest with you. I think Solomon Kinley is the best offensive lineman on the entire team. He's just not going to get that type of credit because he's a left guard. But he's extremely thorough there. But decent protection right here. The dam's starting to collapse. But look, no one is open. Where do you throw the ball at right here? So people are talking about Jake Fromm. Look at this. This is blanket coverage. You're not going to throw the ball to DeAndre Swift right here. He's not even looking, and his defender is actually looking. Well, there's just nowhere to go with this, man. So then you can see it starting to collapse right here. Guy has uncovered from Cade Mays. I think that's Javon Kinlaw. Obviously, he's actually getting held now. Can Florida replicate this, right? Being able to play man defense like that and really forcing these guys to get and show their prowess as receivers, right? And we saw in the LSU game, Florida played a ton of off-man coverage, a little bit of zone coverage. We're really scared. I don't think they have to be scared of going against Georgia. Florida's definitely more battle-tested than Georgia. But with that being said, I still think Georgia's going to be the best defense Florida will have faced thus far, even over Auburn and LSU. I think it's a more complete defense than Auburn. I think it's a even more athletic defense than LSU, especially if we're talking about guys along the front. So we see Florida kind of struggling with some of these fabricated pressure schemes. I think they'll struggle with just regular organic rush and fabricated pressure schemes, especially when they go to some of this double O personnel. We see my man Bleich right here. He's in struggle mode, right? He's stiff as a diving board. Got Gene DeLance out here. Might be Gene DeLance's best rep ever, right? Going against the freshman Marcel Brooks, who's kind of lighting the loafers. He kind of pushes him around. But you see kind of a late twist here, right? The inside move by the second level player coming in, right? It's a 5-man send. And then you have a wrap coming underneath it. And they struggle to kind of pick that up. Bleich gets, what is Bleich doing? Like, for real, just think about it. Somebody's kicking the inside move. He's not even bending or anything. He just sticks out his left hand right there. That's poor right there. That can be exploited. So you see right there, that's a complete hold, and that's on Patrick Queen. He's no type of pass rusher or anything. Georgia has a whole bunch of pass rushers, a whole bunch of pass rusher types that they can send, even from the second level. So see guys starting to uncover. But look, nobody's really open right here as well for Florida. So Kyle Trask has nowhere to really throw the ball. But he escapes up out of that bad boy, does a good job with that. So I think Georgia can definitely replicate something like this and maybe only do it with a 4-man rush and then be able to even spy Kyle Trask. You don't necessarily have to spy him, but have somebody prepared to be there just in case. Maybe he comes on more of a green dog type scenario, right? He's going to come unless Kyle Trask, if he's sitting there, he'll come, or he'll try to play a little bit of abstinence, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of really keeping an eye on him. One thing that's been kind of worrisome for me in regards to Florida is the open field tackling, right? So you see Florida having to defend some of these snug formations, tight to the hashes, and being able to do that from off-man coverage or even zone coverage. So what I tell you about hands-on man and really work that touch-and-go coverage. So see a quick out route by Jamar Chase right here. Now, don't get me wrong. While Georgia probably doesn't have anybody that can get off press coverage that well, they have a ton of receivers who can just break tackles if given the opportunity. So out route right here, CJ Henderson has not had his best year as far as tackling goes, and it's been extremely vivid in games like this right here. I'm not sure what type of effort that really even is right there. He's not trying to break down in space. Like I said before, I think he may be injured, but the Dogs can manufacture some stuff like this. You know, Georgia can work the quick game with the best of them, especially if they're playing against off-man or zone coverage. I want to shed light on some of Georgia's defensive backs that I think could be had. One being Richard LeCounte, who people focus on his inconsistencies in making college-level tackles, but I think it goes beyond that with him. I think it's a complete understanding of exactly where he needs to be at on all plays. So you'll see him as the single high post safety here when the strong safety, who may be the best player on the defense, J.R. Reed, bumps down in the box. You get this guy right here, Devad Wilson, who is your nickel defender. He's been having a few blunders here and there himself, right? So you see him with Brian Edwards. Edwards is going to run and out and up. And Richard LeCounte, I'm not sure what the heck he's doing. There's nobody even on the backside for him to worry about while he's riding the hash right here. His eyes needed to have immediately shot him over here, but he's late getting there. But even with him being late getting there, you see the type of athleticism he has. All right. You get the fake stretch action right here on the naked. Ryan Helinski coming around. Great to boot away from the action. Now look at this. Where is Richard LeCounte? So we see Richard LeCounte right here. He would be in perfect position to really work over here. If I'm him right now, I'm starting to shade over here at the very least because there's more bodies over here. There's nothing over here for him to be worried about. And there are backside defenders that can help out since this is a combination coverage. You had zone over here with DJ Daniel. But you see Devad Wilson, he's super bit on the stem, on the out and up. He's left toast. Ryan Helinski throwing off of his back foot and still is able to get that. So look at Richard LeCounte right here. He's not going to be able to make that right there. And Devad Wilson was toast lunch, right? Coming down, it almost looks like he can make it because this guy has some serious wheels, right? Very athletic kid, but not even really close, man. So he's had blunders like this. Man, I might need to find that one as well. All right, same deal right here. What you're going to have by Marquez Callaway going against DJ Daniel over here. So DJ Daniel is another player that has been suspect at times for Georgia. You got Eric Stokes on the other side, the cornerback, lights out, lockdown, very tremendous player. And the guy right behind him right there, like I mentioned before, J.R. Reed, one of the best safeties in the country. So these are two of the best players in the country. Richard LeCounte, DJ Daniel, Devad Wilson, and even Tyson Campbell. All these guys have had some suspect play thus far in their young careers. But you get a slant and go by Marquez Callaway, and then you get Richard LeCounte biting extra hard, right? So you know South Carolina saw this from this particular game and did their own version of it, right? Some type of double move, front facing play action fake. Make sure you always watch Georgia's defenders here. Malik Herron, this guy's a monster. All of these guys are just straight monsters, right? So you talk about the lack of sack totals, but man, they're getting some pressure. Tyler Clark in there, you get a wrap around, a TE stunt going on right there. You see my man getting hell, but watch the action right here. DJ Daniels spun like a dreidel. Richard LeCounte, if you can isolate him and get him involved in a lot of plays with the ball going through the air, I think he can be had, man. And we saw that with the Florida game as well. Slant and go, he bit hard. He's supposed to be deepest of the deep. Herring getting held. Maurer launches that bad boy, and that was all she wrote. Another explosive play. So do you guys know anybody from Florida who could replicate this? Yes, that would be perhaps the best route runner, the route genie himself, Van Jefferson. I could see him definitely executing something like this with a combination of these two players or the aforementioned other two players. All right, one more time on this particular aspect. I know you guys will remember this from last year's Florida game. You got a three-man route combination going on right here. Tyree Cleveland on a deep out. Van Jefferson pretty much looks like he's riding the seam going vert. And you got kind of a post, I believe, from Josh Hammond. Richard LeCount right here, same thing. This is a flea flicker, right? So you can see his eye discipline. He bites hard on the potential inside run. Then he has the retreat, and he doesn't know what's going on. He's like a chicken with his head cut off. So we see the potential inside run right there in the flea. Now look at him. He's like, uh-oh. He got them emoji eyes, right? So he gets Josh Hammond. You can't totally put this on him, but it's just the discipline in general. Tyreek McGee gets beat right here. We could very well see Tyreek McGee. He's still on the team as well. He gets beat right here trying to press 30 yards down the field or whatever. Just look goofy. Now look, the route genie himself beating people, making people stumble and stuff. This right here should have been exactly how Florida got its first points. But Felipe Franks missed that bad boy, right? And I found Felipe Franks to actually be a pretty good deep ball thrower. And I'm not so sure about Kyle Trask's deep ball compared to Felipe Franks. I think that's an aspect that's actually missing from Florida. But I think everything else, mid-distance, quick game, stuff like that, Kyle Trask is superior. All right, Georgia has some special players along its front. It's extremely deep. Maybe you can't find a Derek Brown per se in there, but a Jordan Davis may be very close when it's all said and done. But the rest of them guys, even if you're talking about how good Auburn's front is, if Marlon Davidson and Derek Brown will probably start at Georgia, but the rest of them dudes wouldn't. And these guys are absolutely loaded. You got a guy like Jermaine Johnson here, you see pushed out to the nines, and they're still able to run these TE stunts with a guy like that, big 6'6" long guy getting pressure. And Devontae Wyatt right here, Azeez Ojulari, who's probably the best edge player on the team as well. Just a lot of bodies that they can throw at you, right? So they'll never get tired. They're extremely deep. You see Jermaine coming on the wrap right here. The freshman running back doesn't do a good job of chipping off of him, but he ends up flushing the quarterback / receiver. And they're playing tight man-to-man coverage. So you see the kind of stuff that I believe LSU had a little bit of success with against Florida. You can definitely see Georgia being able to duplicate some of those things that they did. All right, here we go again. I wonder to this day about the ability to continue to target Georgia's safeties in the vertical passing game. Now, Florida's offensive line last season to me, much better, right? As a matter of fact, if you go back and look at this particular Florida team, there's a reason why it was so successful. This team was absolutely loaded, man. Even on the defensive side of the ball, having CeCe Jefferson and Ja'Kai Polite with a guy like Jabari Zuniga and some of the guys that Marlon Dunlap and these guys and Kyrie Campbell. And come on, man. These guys are absolutely loaded even to this day. But these same cast of characters right here on the offensive side of the ball trying to go deep, right? So just straight vert, right? Got a post by my man Freddie Swain, one of my favorite receivers there, isolated on J.R. Reed. Now, J.R. Reed is a great in-the-box safety, one of the best safeties in the country. But him in coverage and man coverage like that leaves a lot to be desired. Tyree Cleveland going Burt right here against DeAndre Baker. But y'all remember this particular play, right? Franks did a good job of looking it off. You have pretty much zone coverage going on right there. So you see the isolation. It's zone on one side, kind of a man coverage on the other side. Very similar to cover 6. That's all she wrote right there. Of course, Richard LeCount's not going to be able to help him out. I don't know sure what Richard LeCount is doing on some of these plays, man, but look at him. He maybe could have gotten there, but J.R. Reed torched by Freddie Swain. Now, we know that they can replicate this for real. It's the same cast of characters, but we'll see what Kyle Trask is looking like on some of those deep throws. Even though he had a pretty good one against Tennessee, if I can remember correctly. All right, the meat and potatoes. Everybody always says, pack the box against Georgia, then you'll stop it and make it one-dimensional. Yeah, good luck with that. That's what Georgia actually wants you to do. Georgia wants you to put 8-9 men in the box because it has an explosive run game designed at getting its backs to the third level, right? It wants to see if your backs in the third level can tackle perhaps the best back in the entire country, DeAndre Swift, who's virtually impossible to stop with a one-on-one guy when he has that much space, right, in a one-on-one situation. So we see right here, gonna have some jet action going on, some jet ghost action going on. This is pretty much an inside zone play. But you see it run from under center, so you get that good zone flow. But they want to get to that third level. So the more defenders you put in the box, good for they feel good about it because they have a big offensive line and they have run schemes designed at getting a hat on a hat, right? You see the double right here, Ben Cleveland and Isaiah Wilson. That's like 900 pounds worth of beef. See Ben Cleveland trying to combo up to the second level. Big Solomon Kinley doing work. Trey Hill, who's a little bit suspect, so I want to see how he does against some of the interior defensive linemen from Florida. Always Andrew Thomas doing work, perhaps top overall pick in the draft, top 5 pick or something like that. But then DeAndre Swift, right? Great vision, great speed, great agility. Have Lawrence Cager out here, big man doing work at the receiver position. He just wants to get someone isolated like this. This is how their big runs happen. They want you to put eight in the box and see if you can tackle. It just so happens that the South Carolina DB is actually able to tackle him in a one-on-one situation. But you can see how this could have been a complete disaster for South Carolina had DeAndre Swift made him miss. That's what they want you to do. Same kind of deal right here. This is when they start going to their pass tags on the back of run calls too that they've implemented the last couple of seasons. What looks like what's going to be a split zone right here. Zone flow to the right. Cross formation block coming by the H-back/tight end Charlie Warner. But look at this. It's a leverage throw. You're reading the leverage of this particular defender right here. If he stays put, you run your hitch right into his area. And there you go. So you see him staying put. So it's a leverage. He's not going to be able to get there before the ball gets there. And this pretty much is just a run, right? An extension of a run call. Can't do anything about that. So that's how Georgia does. So Georgia's struggling to find people who can go deep. They may not have that on the team, but they'll work that quick game and that run game. And people think it's easy to stop. I don't think so. We'll see about that right here very soon. All right, I told you about my disdain for Florida's offensive line. The center, Nick Buchanan, is the best offensive lineman on the team, but even he's suspect. We see him right here going against Javon Kinlaw. Maybe a healthy Jordan Davis can duplicate what this man did because he put him on skates while wearing skis, right? Or skis while wearing skates. He was on something, right? He had a combination of both them bad boys on. Look at him getting pushed right up in the Kyle Trask's mug, right? Meeting of the minds right here. This is just crazy right here. So he completely collapsed Nick Buchanan's whole spinal column, but then he took the brunt of it because Nick Buchanan just landed on him. But you can see right there, that type of quick pressure could be troublesome. All right, hashtag Real Men Watch to the end. Let me know if you did. All right, got a gag sweep right here. Both guards pulling around, guard and guard sweep. Definitely something you can see Georgia replicating right there. Got some pin and pull action going on as well. And you can see Florida's inability to really maintain its gap stance, right? So, but with that being said, no Jabari Zuniga, no John Grenard. Stuff will definitely look a lot different, in my opinion, with those guys. But even with those guys, man, we still got to see about being able to defend the run. So I know the pass rush will get an uptick with those guys, but I'm not solely sure about defending the run. So here we go right there. See the guys getting pinned in. And this is an elementary school run game compared to what Georgia could bring to the table. Pretty much 88 and out the gate, man. You give somebody like DeAndre Swift or Brian Herring and Zamir White this kind of space, you never know what can happen. All right, but so there are other aspects of this. Is definitely went on way too long. I told you I was going to get some epic stuff this week for this Georgia-Florida matchup. I've been working all season for this. Next week we'll get on the LSU-Alabama stuff. But, man, there are other aspects like who's going to defend Kyle Pitts. What if Georgia is able to actually to establish a really good passing attack? A lot of stuff that we just don't know. A lot of variables going on there. So it's such a 50-50 matchup. It's tough. I've been sweating about this and thinking about it all freaking week. I just do not know who's going to win this game. I went with coin tosses, all kinds of stuff just to see who I thought would win this game. But here we go, man. Ultimately, I'm going to say something like 24-21. I'm going to go ahead and go with Georgia, right? I think it's a pivotal game for Georgia. I can really see stuff going downhill for Georgia if they were to lose this game, for real. And the recruiting trail, if they don't have these type of recruits, there are a lot of recruits that are in limbo right now. If they were to, the shine were to come off Georgia, which is already on LSU right now, stuff could look a lot different there. And I think Florida's just on an ascent, man. Florida just looks damn good, and should it look this good that early to where we don't know if Georgia can beat it? This is just the second year under this regime. This is a 4 or 5 win team a couple of years ago. It's scary, man. Your boy the hacker Dan Mullen can do more with less, and if Georgia's not winning this game, man, you would have to say Kirby Smart is doing less with more, right? So I don't know. I can very well see Florida winning this, and if that's the case, man, you can very well see a changing of the guard pretty soon, and that would be scary. So it won't be easy, but I think Florida is coming no matter what. So, but we'll see about it. I may jump on a live stream or something like that and talk with you boys a little bit about it, maybe during the game. I'm not sure, but we can get it in that way. All right. But as always, thanks for rocking with your boy Murf, the Underground King, Top Billin Sports, and I am out. Peace.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.